Hi everyone, it is Medical Monday time. It is 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time in the Metro Detroit area. I am Dr. Grace. I am Dr. Grace. I am trying to simultaneously broadcast on Medical Monday as well on YouTube. So I am trying to get this done here. Let me see what we're doing here. No, I don't want to do that. Let's discard that. Okay, it looks a little different here, but we'll go ahead and get started here. I'm also simultaneously live streaming on YouTube Live. Hey Dion, hey Susan, hi, how are you? Hey Auntie, how are you? We're going to have a phenomenal time tonight. I have a guest that's going to be on. And I need you guys to please, as we prepare for her to come on with us tonight, I want you guys to invite and share. Hey, Jamie. Hey, Brother Dion. It is so nice to see that you're on tonight and that you're back at Great Faith. We missed you so much. Hey, Essie, please like, invite, and share. Hey, Jamie. Thank you so much for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. Please go ahead and do that as we get ready to go on. I want to give you guys come on and pile on and invite your friends and everything. For you replayers who are unable to be with us live streaming, that you come back on and listen to it at your most convenience. Hey Nancy, thank you for joining on. Our topic for tonight is called metabolism and meal prep, or meal prep and metabolism. How important meal prep is in resetting your metabolism, or keep your metabolism going, so you can make sure that you have the right amount of food intake, that you have the right amount of energy burn. So we're going to talk about that tonight. So as you guys get on, like, and share. Now, I did promise that we were going to do detox part 2. Remember, I ran out of time last week, but I forgot that I had a guest already scheduled. So I didn't want to push her back off, because I was so excited about her being on. I was like, no, I want to keep her, because that was the time that she agreed to coming on. So I wanted to keep that time. Hey, Patrice, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share as you come on. Hey, Minister Joseph. Please like, invite, and share as you guys come on. We're really excited about tonight. Yes, we are. I'm just pulling up a couple of our documents here tonight. Come on. There we go. So we're going to, let me see what we got here. Let me see. Oh, okay. So let me tell you a little bit about our guest. No, I'm not going to tell you now. I'm going to let you guys get on a little bit more. Hey, Bernithia, thank you for joining on. Hey, Kimberly, Sister Kim Cole, I appreciate you. Sister Bernithia, thank you for coming on. Sister Doris Ease. Hey, Phyllis Thomas, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. You guys are piling on. So as soon as you come on, I want you to share. I listened to this jazz violinist. He comes on and he says, sharing is caring. So please show that you care about Medical Monday, and please share tonight so we can get the word out of this information. Hey, Mycia, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share. We're going to have a wonderful time tonight. Yes, we are. Hey, Maritza, yes. Our guest is, I know she's there. You're going to probably have to respond again so I can send you an invite. Maritza, I see that you're on, but I don't see where I can add you on. So hopefully you're on your cell phone. Let me see if I can do that. Can I get over? Let me see what we got here. Quiet mode turned on. Swipe to the left. Let me see what I got to swipe to real comments and reaction. No, I want to be able to invite her. So Maritza, I don't see where I can add you on. Hey, Sister Annapolis. Hey, Brother Green. So hopefully, Maritza, you have the update, the most recent Facebook application on your phone, so I can go ahead and add you on. So I am going to see if I could click on you and see what happens, just in case, as a test. Like, bring on. Oh yeah, don't worry about it. I see it. We're good. But she's on, and so it is now. I'm gonna give you guys a minute or two. It's 8:05. And we have tons and tons of information to go on. So right now I can read you her introduction and bio. Again, I am Dr. Grace Patterson. They affectionately known as Dr. Grace. Yes, in the Metro Detroit area. Hey Martin, thank you for joining on. Please like, invite, and share as you come on. What I want to say to you guys that I am a managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center. Hey Renithia, you guys are on tonight like never before. I'm so excited. I don't know what to do. Managing owner of Bethesda Holistic Center, where we bring the medical practice to you. We provide home care service, or visiting physician services into the home, where we do evaluations to see if a person qualifies for home care services by an agency, where we provide physical therapy, occupational therapy, speech therapy. We also are able to bring even some alternative medicine care to a person, because all my patients, I treat them as a whole patient. Hey Polycar, thank you for joining on. Hey Renithia, hey Martin, please like, invite, and share. And we all, hey Tanisa, we also provide concierge services, where you have direct contact with me or access to me, where I can actually do what we call tailor-made individual medical care, tailor-made for the busy professional. We're trying to make sure that people do what they need to do what God has called them to do. And so we make it easy for you to do that. And we also have what we call our new practice. Hey Pastor Tammy, thank you coming on. I know last week I gave you a shout out in regards to Hour of Power, but I heard you guys are taking a sabbatical, because that was some powerful words every morning at 7 a.m. Looking forward for you guys to coming back. But hey, Brother Jay, thank you for joining on. Jay is back. I think he's in North Carolina. Jay used to be the owner of Powerhouse Gym in Southfield. Right behind the Secretary of State, or right next door to the Secretary of State. I used to go there years ago. I'm still working out, but not there, not there anymore. But that's where I learned the importance of working out. We used to have some accountability partners there. I used to work out with, believe it or not, a group of guys. But anyway, they used to go hard, but it really made me understand the importance of working out and having accountability. So hey Jay, thank you for joining on tonight. Please like, invite, and share. Also, I'm simultaneously live streaming on YouTube, Medical Monday, Grace Patterson. I'm trying to upload all my videos. We've been doing this for a year now, so we want you guys to get on. So what I'm going to do now is give you a brief introduction or bio about our guest that's going to be on tonight. Her name is Maritza Willis. She is relied on food and bad habits to comfort her for more than a decade. Her 5'5" frame once held 278 pounds, but that all changed in 2015 when she consulted nutritionists and health coaches for ways to take control of her health. She shared what she learned and paved the way for her closest friends to change their lives too. Isn't that awesome? She took her personal journey and said, hey, I'm not just going to keep this wealth of information for myself, but I'm going to share it with my friends. Now she is on a mission to help millions of people, despite their unhealthy past, to take control of their bodies, just as she did 15 months and 112 pounds ago. So I am Maritza. I need you just to type something in. Hey, Sister Frederico Mobley. I thank you for joining on. So I need you to type something, Maritza, and then I'm going to invite you on so we can get this night of information going. I'm so excited for you to share your testimony with us. So let me see, maybe I can, there you are. Let me see if I can get, where it says. Hopefully it didn't kick her off. Again, I want you guys to like, invite, and share. Oh, where did you go? Let me see. Let's see here. Let's see if I can. There you are. I'm going to add you on. Maritza, I'm now. I am so excited. Yes. Hey! Okay, I told you to go horizontal, but guess what? You're sideways, so maybe you need to turn it up. There you go. Hey, lady. Now, you are in Houston, Texas, right?
San Antonio.
Antonio, I'll put you in a whole nother city. So,
We relocated after the hurricane.
oh, okay, that is right. You did tell me about that. Yes, you look beautiful. Thank you for joining me
Thank you.
tonight. So, do you want to share how we met?
Oh, I would love to. I would love to. I was actually invited by a doctor to attend this A4M conference in Las Vegas in December because we were actually looking at adding nutrition as part of his practice. And so he reached out to me and I was just so excited. But nonetheless, I flew out to Vegas and he wasn't there. And so I was lost and not really knowing what to do. And early one morning, I was in the lobby and this beautiful doctor came up to me and she says, "You look lost." And I said, "I am. I have no idea where I'm supposed to go or what I'm supposed to do." And you said, "Come with me." And from that point forward, it was truly a godsend for me in the way that everything truly had been orchestrated by God, because from that point you took me under your wing, you showed me what to do, we had lunch and dinner together, and in that course of 24 to 48 hours you changed my, just really helped me, introduce me to people that actually were able to guide me in the right direction. It was one of the most incredible weekends of my entire life. But again, it was through divine intervention that you were the person that came into my life and guided me, because again, it was my first time there, had no idea what to do. But you were great. You were so great and so kind and loving, and we just hit it off from there.
That's wonderful. Thank you for sharing that. So let me tell you how I got there. So I go to Great Faith Ministries International here in Detroit, Michigan, and our pastor is Apostle Wayne T. Jackson and Dr. Beverly Y. Jackson. They are founders of Impact Network, the only Black Christian network in the world. And so he is very into health and wellness. So he called me one day and he was like, "Dr. Grace, there is this teaching A4M something." And he said, "I want you to look into it. I want you to go." He said he wanted to go, but he said, "I'm unable to go. So could you go in my stead?" So because he wants that information, not only for himself, but he also teaches it through the pulpit about health and wellness. And we have a teaching and healing ministry where he actually believes in the power of God, the laying on of hands for healing. So, and for him to partake in that, he also believes that he needs to be example of health and wellness himself in his personal lifestyle. So it was by the grace of God that he thought enough of me to tell me about it, to share the information for me to go. So we first off give honor and glory to God for the divine connection and for having spiritual leaders who care enough about the congregation to send so we're going to get started here. So a little
Now, I don't know if it's just on my end. The line's breaking up a little bit. Can you hear me pretty clearly?
Yes, I can hear you real clear. I got some background noise for a moment, but I can hear you very clear.
Okay, I can hear you perfectly now as well.
Okay, good. So tell me about your, I gave him a little bit information about what happened to you in regards to your weight and everything, and
right,
and how God basically, let me tell your story. So tell your story, how all this happened with you in regards to a weight wellness journey. That's what I call it.
Okay. So I was extremely athletic. In high school, I was a cheerleader and was always really an athlete. For the most part. But after I had the children, I started to recognize that my metabolism started to slow down. I wasn't exercising as much as I had been. And I just started to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and fell into the mentality that because I come from a family of obese people, that I was just destined to be obese, that it was genetic. There's high blood pressure, there's diabetes, there's cancer, there's all these crazy things in our family. And I fell into the to the myth that that's what I was destined for too. And I think that because of that mentality, the fact that I was in my early 30s and developed high blood pressure, I was also diabetic, and then, I had gotten up to 300 pounds. I was using that as an excuse of, it's genetics. It's just genetics. But I started to feel miserable and depressed, and I didn't want to go out. I didn't want to see anybody. I didn't want to go to parties. I didn't even want to go to a park because nothing fit. I was just so miserable. And at 300 pounds, your knees hurt, your back hurts. Everything is constantly in pain. And with all the medications, it was making me very depressed as well. And so I made the decision to have bariatric surgery. And I was really excited about that, and took the plunge, had the bariatric surgery, but soon came to find out that bariatric surgery was just a tool. That once again, if you did not first master everything with nutrition, eventually, which I did not know, eventually your stomach can re-stretch to where it was before. And that's what happened to me. I ended up losing about 75 pounds and then regained about 100.
Wow.
And so here I'm back up to 300 pounds after the original bariatric surgery, and something really horrible absolutely happened. I ended up getting to where, because of scar tissue, my intestines fused together, and I developed a hernia in my stomach, and they went into that hole, and I became very sick. Well, the only way to fix that was to do gastric bypass. And so once again, I have another bariatric surgery. I end up losing the weight. And when I went and I spoke to the doctor, and this is where I had been a financial advisor at that point for about 20 years, was very passionate about always helping people. But it was after that surgery that a light went off in my head, because when I went to see the doctor, he sent me to a nutritionist. And when I looked at the nutritionist diet plan, it was peanut butter and bread, and it was all these foods that even at that stage, without being a nutritionist, I knew this isn't good for you. And then she pulls out the pyramid, and this was just a few years ago. And I said, wait, like the pyramid, this is not a good thing. And so I started to follow individuals that were saying the right words. And that was, stop the dieting. Stop the dieting and start incorporating healthy lifestyle changes.
Right.
And I was very blessed. I went to a convention. I was able to meet up with a phenomenal Mark McDonald, who has a show on CNN. And he started talking about reprogramming your metabolism and stopping the dieting craze. Keeping your body always in homeostasis, which means that your sugar level is always between 80 and 120. I'd never even heard the word, so I didn't even know what the heck that meant. But I studied and I became passionate, and I thought, you know what? I can share this with millions of people, because as we know, 80% of our society is obese or is suffering from some sort of diabetes, high blood pressure, all these ailments that we continue to think are genetic, and they're not. And I'll tell you why they're not. Because as soon as I dropped the weight, there went the medications. I haven't been on any medications at all, literally no medications for almost 10 years. Yes. And so I'm a big proponent of supplementation, obviously. I do take supplements, but I also eat very healthy. And the first thing that I learned to do, Dr. Patterson, was reprogram my metabolism.
Okay,
I had to learn how to do that.
Let's stop right there for a moment. So let's go back to where you said that you fell into the mindset of this is how it's going to go because it was my family history. So genetics, some of us call it generational curses or whatever you want to call it. So what was it for you as far as mindset goes? What did you do to change your thinking and your mindset about that? Because if your mindset had not changed, you would have still down that road. So what was it for you that said, hey, I'm going to change my thinking about that? I don't accept that. I don't receive that. That doesn't have to be for me. What was it for you that changed for you?
Well, truly what you just said, I started to, first and foremost, I started to work on personal development. I needed to work on me first. And I started to realize that whatever it is that you think about long enough eventually becomes your reality.
Yeah.
And I had allowed the diabetes, I had allowed the high blood pressure, I had allowed the obesity and the depression to become my reality because that was the history of my family. Until one day I made the decision of saying, I'm going to break this generational curse. It's not happening anymore. It's not happening anymore because this was a mindset. Because I realized that when I dropped the weight, I could run. When I dropped the weight, I could lift weights. You know, I have a fracture in my neck. I have a fracture in my lower back. And for all practical purposes, if you look at my MRI, you're going to think I'm a 91-year-old woman. All the doctors say that, but yet I'm standing. And I ask myself, and of course this is also through the grace of God, because I can't control that, but what I can control are my thoughts, and I can control what goes into my mouth.
Yeah.
I make the decision. So here's the most radical change that I made. I made the decision that food was going to be made to be consumed, not to consume me any longer.
All right.
Because that's what it had done. Food had started to consume me. And so I love chips. That's actually, you know, my drug of choice. I love chips, but I know that it is my drug. It's a negative. It's not a positive. And so I don't buy them. If it's not in the house, I'm not going to drive in the middle of the night. I'm not pregnant. I'm not driving in the middle of the night to go get a doggone bag of Cheetos, you know? And so if it's not here, I'm not going to have it. So those are the changes, you know, that I've made. And so again, you know, just in that, of course, it helped me to rebuild my metabolism and start to reprogram.
Very good. Now I want to say this to you. We have a saying here at the gym here in the Metro Detroit out. Sun's out, guns out. Your guns look great. But anyway, could you explain to those that are under the sound of our voice, what is metabolism? Because some people, you know, we hear it, but what is it? And you know, from in a layman's term, exactly what is a metabolism and how does it play a role in our in managing our weight and to have good, what I call weight wellness?
Okay, so I'm going to put it really simple so that everybody can understand, because if you start getting into how the energy gets into the cells, et cetera, it just is too complicated. But metabolism basically, metabolism for the most part, let's look at it as energy. It's the energy in our body that helps to metabolize whatever it is that we put into our bodies. However, because of our metabolizing and the way that we intake our food, we tend to mess it up when we do stupid things. And I say dumb, crazy things because our society has really drilled in our head to diet. You know, to do a paleo diet, a ketosis diet, just a juicing diet, you know, whatever. But these are long-term things, you know, that we've been taught. And those of us that have been obese before, We're not shy to try everything. But unfortunately, what that does to our metabolism is it puts it in a state of shock.
Yeah.
Our metabolism doesn't know what the heck to do. And so we start to slow it down. Anytime that you unfortunately diet, when there is deprivation, whether it's good fasting, bad fasting, it doesn't matter, but when there's deprivation in the body, we're going to unfortunately play with our metabolism. And it can help us, it can hurt us, and in many cases, because of the significant amount of dieting that we've done throughout the years, we hurt it. However, we were so perfectly made.
Yeah.
God made us so perfect.
Yeah.
And so we have the capacity of flushing through detox, of reprogramming, and literally getting our metabolism so that when we eat, that food is used as energy so that we can move, we can burn fat. I mean, I'm 51 years old, and I say that not to impress you. I say that to impress upon you that it doesn't matter what your age is or where you're at. You have the ability. I don't care. I mean, I know I've got this flab up here, but I work on it. You know, I do whatever I can to have a physique that's going to carry me through to old age. And with that, I'm always thinking, how is this going to assist my metabolism? Because I need whatever it is that I take in to be utilized as energy in a positive way, so that so that I can get through the day.
This is not on our outline, but one of the things that I want to tell people about metabolism and being overweight or obesity, that not only is their metabolism being shocked, but it's also very slow. And I can tell most, being a doctor for over 20 years now, when I see someone that's overweight, I know for a fact they don't eat breakfast. It's not someone that's been overweight that I've ever asked, and I asked them, do you eat breakfast? And I would say 95% of them say, no, I don't. So then I tell them, say breakfast with me. Break fast. You're breaking a fast. You don't have to all the pots and pans out and cook this breakfast fast, but you need to break that first background noise. Where that's from.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's coming from me or if it's coming from.
I don't know.
I don't.
Well, this is what we're going to do. We're going to. Can you hear me now? Hello, hello, hello.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, good. So what I want to basically, what you just said, you've answered our interview questions. Number 2 was, what is metabolism? What is metabolism and obesity? You already did that. You already talked about. I said I wanted to ask you to tell the viewers who are having trouble. Now, sometimes I do have viewers that are not all overweight. I do have some people that I know that that are overweight and trying to gain. Kind of like what can really what happens in regards to someone who's trying to gain weight.
Right. Can you, is there still static in the background? I mean, is there still interruption?
It stops. It
You can
comes on for a minute and then it goes away.
Yeah, it's so weird. It's because it sounds perfectly on my end. I just wasn't sure if you guys are watching, if you can type in yes or no. Yes, it sounds okay. No, it doesn't.
Yes. Hi, Annapolis. She said the sound. They keep on saying the sound. So let me see if all the way up. So can you hear us? Hello?
Well, let me. No sound, please. Exit this out the video and we'll open the video.
Exit out of the video.
Yes, sounds okay. Yes, sounds okay. So it seems like the sound comes and goes, maybe.
I see somebody saying, yes, it sounds okay. It comes and goes. We can hear you. And then I hear somebody saying exit. It's okay. Yes, it sounds good now. Okay, yes, it's okay. So we're going to keep going. If it sounds okay, it comes.
Okay. Okay. So let's talk about what you were just talking, referencing the individuals that are trying to, and then it clears. Okay. Um, let's talk about the individuals that you say are trying to gain some weight. Is that what you were saying?
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to say this very lovingly. I'm not going to say this in an ugly way because I have a lot of clients that are very thin, but we call them skinny fat.
Yes.
And basically, yeah, they're and they've got the small statures, but they don't have any muscle.
Right.
So, which is a problem for, a huge generation. I mean, just a huge population of individuals. For individuals that are in that state, we stress upon you the importance of healthy proteins and, of course, healthy fats.
Yeah.
We need to get you to start building muscle. We need you to definitely, if you can, start lifting weights. But your calorie intake is going to have to be, in my client's case for the most part, a little bit higher because of that weight gain that we're trying to put on, as opposed to a lower calorie intake for those, or ounces, because we tend to measure more in macros than we do in calories. But in smaller portions, if you're trying to lose weight, in larger portions of your healthier fats, which is going to put fat on you. And I think that a lot of people think that because an avocado is a great fat, it's okay to eat a whole avocado. Almonds are a great source of protein, of fat, but a bag of almonds is going to make you fat. And so you have to be very, very careful with the intake of those good fats, unless you're trying to put on weight.
Right.
And so if you are trying to put on weight, then obviously you're going to want to intake more proteins and more fats. Now, I'm going to give you guys a little secret that I learned, and Dr. Grace, you can correct me here if I'm wrong, but I've heard it from so many experts that it's really interesting. Another thing that really makes a difference is in the order that we eat our foods.
Yes.
Unfortunately, carbs start to digest in our mouths. They start to break down with the acid that we have in our mouths. Whereas protein starts to digest in our stomach. And what happens as a society here in the United States is that any time that we eat or we go out to restaurants, we have a tendency of starting with our salad or with chips or with bread, which is a carbohydrate. If it is true that those start to digest in our mouth, they start to break down in our mouth, we're going to see a spike in the release of insulin. Then we eat our meal, which is typically our protein and our good veggies, and it never fails that once we're done eating, we're craving something sweet. Yes, and that's because our insulin's already spiked. Our bodies have already gone into work to start breaking down those carbohydrates, those sugars. And so unfortunately, you're going to have a sugar spike. So what I teach my clients is you need to incorporate your protein first.
Thank you. Stop right
Put something that is a protein.
right there. You guys getting this? You guys need to write this down. Please write this down. This is so key right here. You definitely need to write this down. If you don't take anything else away within this hour that you're with us, you need to write this down. Because how many of you go out to eat and the first thing they bring to the table is a bread basket?
Yep.
Yes. So yeah, I just wanted to stop right there so they can absorb this, because we're so passionate about what we're doing, and it's like sometimes it may just go over their head, but this is an important key right here. We also put it there. Carbs break down in our mouth, and the problem, it breaks down in our stomach. Hey Nicole, thank you for joining on. Also, if you guys are having trouble with listening or hearing us, one of our producers of our show said that you need to exit out and come back in. So that way, I just wanted to say that too. But write that down. Sorry, Marissa. I just wanted, because that is a
Okay.
And you already answered. That's the next question on the list. So you're on a roll here. So you could go ahead, dear. Sorry for interrupting you like that, but
No, absolutely. Because I tend to forget things, and I don't want to, because it's so critically important that as you go into your new lifestyle, because that's really what this is all about. It's little changes, 1%, because the more you know, the more empowered you are. And people have asked me how I've been able now here's where the remarkable part comes. So here we are, almost 5-6 years later after the last bariatric surgery, and I was not going to regain that weight. I said, I'm not doing it, but I'm not dieting. I'm not, maintaining by dieting, because I was always miserable and grouchy. When you can't have chocolate or whatever it is that you're craving, it makes me mad. And so I started to say, well, I'm going to eat healthy 90% of the time. I'm going to incorporate good healthy proteins, good healthy fats, good healthy carbohydrates. And if I want to have a treat meal, write that down. Not a cheat meal. You're not cheating. You're not cheating. If you want to have a treat meal, have a treat meal. But here's the other thing that's critically important that I learned. And if a lot of you don't know this, and the reason I say that our bodies are so perfectly made was because when we were born, our metabolism was perfect. We would eat a healthy protein, fat, and carb coming from our mom's breast milk or formula every 3 to 4 hours. Protein, fat, carb every 3 to 4 hours. Well, unfortunately, and I did this, I'm guilty of this, when my baby was old enough to start taking in something that was going to keep her fuller, because I was tired, I wanted to sleep, I started slipping cereal into her bottle, because I wanted that baby's tummy to get full so I could sleep, Well, here's what people don't understand. You are messing with that perfect metabolism. You're messing with it, because we've got to remember that in order for our bodies to continue to function, we need to continue to eat small portions of protein, fats, and carbs every 3 to 4 hours, because you've already fasted at night. You're not getting up in the middle of the night and having a protein shake. You're fasting. You get up in the morning. The first thing that I do is I drink this humongous, about 32 ounces of water, because I've been dehydrated the whole night. I haven't been drinking water. So I take in my water, I take in my supplements, and within that hour of waking up, I have breakfast. I've got to get my metabolism revved up. That's where the meal prepping comes. That's why it was actually an accident. I started meal prepping for myself, and I was driving Uber, because I was having so much fun driving Uber. But when I would go to the Uber lot, I would bring my own food. And the people would have their McDonald's bags and and they would always see me with my food. And they said, do you always eat that way? And I said, I do. I meal prep on Sundays. So lo and behold, these individuals said, well, will you cook for me? And I said, well, you're going to have to give me money for your groceries, and y'all can come and help me. Well, to make a long story short, from those little few people that started coming to my house on Sundays to barbecue so we could meal prep for everybody, it turned into a business. Wow. So now I have my own meal prep business, that I prep for. I've got clients in Houston. I've got clients here in San Antonio. Everything I do is proportioned for either male or female. But I'm ready. In the morning, when I went to Houston this morning to drop off food, came back, but I left with my banana protein pancakes. For lunch, I had my healthy, lean meatballs over sweet potatoes and green beans. And I knew that if I got caught, I had a snack. So it was going to take me about, I don't know, maybe 6 or 7 hours to go and come back. And I knew that I was going to have to eat at a minimum 2 meals. So 2 meals were ready to go with me, so that I didn't have to stop and eat at a restaurant. So it's all about preparation. It's all about that mindset. It's all about making some sacrifices, because trust the fact that I don't like meal prepping all the time, but I know that if I don't, that week for me is going to be as if I were on a cruise. I'm going to eat whatever the heck I want to. Everything looks like a buffet. And you can't do that.
Absolutely.
You know, it messes with you so poorly, just badly.
One of the things I want to talk about when you were talking, one of the things that pop into my head, because you eat well, you also work out, and I do the same as well. I kind of fell off the meal prep thing, but that's a whole nother story. But I'm going to get back to that because my schedule is so productive that I had to hire somebody to do that for me. So I have been doing some detoxing. So at that point, I don't do the meal prepping. But anyway, there is a thing, and I don't know if you do this or not. Sometimes I do what we call fasting cardio. So even in the morning, as soon as I go up, I get to go to the gym. I don't eat anything because I want to do what we call fasting cardio. And after my fasting cardio, within that 30-minute window when I'm done, I make sure that I do my protein, fat, and carb right then when I'm done. Because what you're doing is that you have to be within that 30-minute window, though, right after you finish working out. So do you do that at any time? Do you do any fasting cardio at all?
I used to, but it would put me in ketosis.
Okay.
And for me, when I go into that state, I get very dizzy.
Okay.
So I started when I was doing my cardio. It didn't happen with my weights, but it did happen with, and you know, and I do more of HIIT training, you know, where I do high intensity, lower intensity, high intensity. I started to get so dizzy that I was going to pass out, you know? And so I learned though, that what I typically will do would be some hard-boiled egg whites, a piece of fruit, and maybe about 5 or 6 almonds. So it's not a lot, but it's enough to give me enough energy to be able to get through that workout. And I go for an hour on the Stairmaster as a HIIT. So it's you know, it's too challenging for me not to have eaten anything and then go. Not only that, I do the majority of my supplements early in the morning, and on an empty stomach, they tend to tear me up. But it's been such a habit of mine for so long, and it works so beautifully for me that I don't really interrupt that. But I mean, at the end of the day, it's whatever works, you know, as long as you're not going, you know, an additional, you know, let's say that you go the entire night without eating, you go to the gym, and then you go for 4 hours.
Okay, we're
12 hours of not eating, right. And that's not healthy. You know, you don't want to do that. I don't want to do that. I mean, there's people that maybe that works for. It does not work for me.
Well, one thing what we do at Bethesda, and we are known for that. We do individualize to that person. So
yeah,
that recommendation, if you tell us that I've done that before and I'm not going to do it, you know what I mean? And it doesn't work for you. So we actually do tailor-made planning health plans, weight wellness plans designed for the individual. For me, it works. When I really want to, someone asks, what is it and what is benefits? What is the benefit? The benefit of that is that it burns visceral fat.
I think we got that background noise again.
Well, fasting cardio.
There we go.
It burns visceral fats. It burns bad fat. Visceral fat. I think I explained to you this guy before. For those of you out there, the only way I can describe it, for those of you that clean meat, or you know, that yellow fat that's on chicken, or that white fat that's on ribs, if that is what we call visceral fat. And also it lines the human anatomy, the organs. So, and it's not a good fat. So we only recommend that for those that can tolerate it. So again, no, for those that call
can't, yeah.
Cleared up now.
There, I can hear you now.
What I did was when it makes that noise, I don't even talk because I don't want it to interfere what's going on. Can you guys hear us now? The static is gone. Can you guys hear? Please type in if you can hear us. The static is now gone. Hopefully sound is sorted.
I'm wondering.
Okay, I think it stopped. It stopped. Okay, so we're going to move on from there. Food combinations are important. We talked about food combination. We talked about
I can't hear you.
snacks. Can you hear me now? What snacks do you recommend?
What snacks? Okay. My favorite are always going to be food snacks. You know, a lot of people do protein shakes. It's not that I'm against them, but they're processed, obviously. Protein bars, but my favorite go-to snacks are always going to be hard-boiled eggs, just the whites, any sort of raw nuts, and your strawberries, your berries, your oranges even. Apples are great sources of fiber, and I always do that in combo. So I will do another one of my recent favorites, because I had developed acute colitis a couple of weeks ago and was told I needed to get in a lot of probiotics. One of my favorites right now is organic Greek plain yogurt with a little bit of almonds or pecans and some unsweetened applesauce. And what I'll do, and I will have that as a meal. I'll have that as a snack. I'll have that. Now, the other thing, because it's summer and hot, you know, here in Texas already, the other thing that I've been doing is throwing frozen fruit, bananas, strawberries, blueberries in the freezer. And then I put them in my NutriBullet with a little bit of coconut water, some raw nuts, and some hemp seeds or spirulina, or you know, whatever protein source that you want to throw in there, maybe even some egg whites, and I make an ice cream out of that. It's a beautiful snack. It's actually a beautiful meal. But in what I teach, though, Dr. Patterson, is your snacks can be your breakfast. Your breakfast could be your dinner. Your dinner could be your snack, because it's always proportioned with a healthy fat and carbohydrate. And so it doesn't really matter. I don't like people to get so caught up in it's a snack where it's a meal. You know, for the most part, it's a protein, fat, and carb. It's a smaller meal. My alarm on my phone is set to go off every 3 to 4 hours as a reminder for me to eat. Because a lot of times I'm in a meeting, I'm in a conference, and before I know it, you know, I'd look and it was 8 o'clock and now it's 3. And you're just go, but that is an enormous amount of time, and that is an enormous amount of time for you to really mess with your metabolism. So I set my alarm to go off, and so I always have my meals, you know, my little meals prepped, ready to go. Those are some of my favorites. I'll also do celery with some fresh ground, you know, I ground it myself, some almond butter with some hemp seeds, some apple slices, you know, with some almond butter and some hemp seeds. Those are my go-to snacks for the most part, you know, always just thinking half an hour, you know, a sliver of avocado, you know, with some egg or a salad. Salmon is my favorite fish. I don't eat a lot of red meat anymore, or turkey or chicken. I'm not a vegetarian for the most part, but I'm very clean, you know, in the way that I eat, because I'll tell you what, I had never been a believer of fasting, ever. If you said to me, you need a fast, I'd say you've lost your mind. Until 3 weeks ago, when I got acute colitis, and through God's sense of humor, I had to fast. And it wasn't because I was doing it on purpose. Anything I put in through my mouth came right out the other end. And I was miserable for 5 days with the most horrifying diarrhea. So I fasted. But here's what's so interesting. And I say this again, not to be gross, you know, because this is a medical show, so you guys are grown ups. But I'll say this because when I cleansed out those intestines, because I saw the burrito from high school at some point, when I cleansed out those intestines, I literally had no smell when I went to the bathroom. It was the cleanest smelling poop ever. And I would be like, where is the smell? Man, I can honestly say my poop doesn't stink. You know, it was the coolest thing ever. And so it was remarkable. But that's because I fasted by accident, but I am a firm believer of fasting now for the right reasons, not for weight loss.
Right.
I don't ever do that. Now, if you want to cleanse, if you want to give your organs a break, like I did, you know, it's beautiful. Inflammation went down. You know, my thinking, I was literally, you know, thinking right. I was tired. But then, you know, I've got my own supplement. So my supplements started kicking in better. I mean, it was amazing how your body starts to take in good nutrients and how your body doesn't smell. You know, I mean, it's like you just become this clean walking carrot, I guess. I don't know. Dr. Patterson, you have to explain that one, because I'll tell you what, it's been amazing.
Well,
it's been amazing.
I've done a show on fasting, the importance of detoxing, and I do believe a detox should include a fast. I also, you know, as far as medically and things of that nature, and I also do believe in fasting for spiritual reasons, and I know you do that too, so let's be clear on that. You do believe in fasting for spiritual reasons, but
yes,
as far as the nutrition part, you didn't think that it was necessary, but now you saw the benefits.
I did. And it's like I said, it's the way, even your skin, you know, your skin starts to glow. You feel so better, and you're not sluggish. You don't carry all that guck around. And here's the other thing that's really incredible about fasting. And about cleansing, more than anything, really cleansing, you know, the insides of your body. You start to understand what your body can and cannot metabolize. So prior to the colitis, you know, about a month and a half ago, I was a dairy person, loved cheese, loved it. When I reincorporated it into my diet, even low-fat cheese, oh my goodness, it is not the same. So I have realized I cannot do cheese. You know, it's a no-no for me. It's a no-no for me. But I didn't know that. Because when your body, we're so habitual. And when our bodies get used to something, you could be passing gas and you could say, man, that was the cauliflower. And no, that was the dairy from 2 days ago. You know, you don't really know this stuff until you go through this horrible experience. And for me, that's how I found out these things. It was like, oh my goodness, you know, all these foods I thought were so great for me are not. You know, my body, it doesn't like them. Doesn't like them.
Things on one of my shows I talked about, we are the only mammal that eats another mammal's milk. We're the only mammals that do that. So there are different kind of cheeses out there. There is cashew cheese, because you want to try that. There is a coconut cheese out there, but there are some vegan cheeses out there too that you might want to try. So, and
okay,
just like a regular cheese and stuff like that, you might want to try to introduce that or whatever. But we're almost running out of time. We have 5 minutes left. So this is what we're going to do. So first of all, I invited you on the show because I knew you were a wealth of information. You were going to be confirming a lot of things that I already talked about, but I really wanted you to share your weight wellness journey about having bypass surgery twice, and it really didn't work
because you didn't change your mindset. You changed your mindset, you changed your behavior, you made a lifestyle change that was for the rest of your life that works for you. So this is the title of the show, is Metabolism and Meal Prep. For those of you that are out there, you have to meal prep. I mean, you have to plan meals. It is what it is. So Maritza, to tell the listening audience of Medical Monday, if they wanted to get in touch with you now, she's in San Antonio, so she can't do your meal prep and drive it way up here. But
not yet. We're trying to find a shipping company that'll ship, but no, not yet.
Not yet, but she is working on that. And see, how one of the things that I try to incorporate even in my Medical Mondays, I try to let people understand, know about entrepreneurship. And then sometimes, all things work together for our good. So even though this may have been something challenging for you or a hardship, God turned it around for your good, and it turned into a business. So the people under the sound of my voice, whatever that you may be going through, you really need to look at that. It may be a testimony where God is trying to redirect you, get you into a place where you're blessed in your health to be a blessing to someone else. And it may not be it could be something else. It could be financial. It could be mental. It could be a whole bunch of things, but all things are working together for your good. So Maritza, I think if you guys go to www.bw-center.com/mm for Medical Monday, Maritza's information is on that download. And then also, I want Maritza, while we have a few moments left, could you tell them your website, your Facebook tag, and your YouTube tag, so they'll know how to get in touch with you?
Absolutely. Well, you guys can find me on I Am Ritz, IAMRITZ, I Am Ritz, like the cracker, IamRitz.com is my webpage, and there's just recipes and my this is because of Dr. Grace Patterson, by the way, because this is the lady that put me in contact with the people that helped me brand my own supplement. And so I will forever be grateful to you. My supplement is there. My YouTube is Maritza Willis. If you just type in Maritza Willis or 1967 My Willis, I've got 2 channels going on there. And on Facebook, you can find me under Maritza Gonzalez Willis or Burn Fat with Ritz. So I've got 2 websites, burnfatwithritz.com and IamRitz.com is my coaching website. That's where I give all of the freebies, as far as information, recipes, and of course my favorite things that are out there. And my favorite things are not necessarily owned by me. I'm just very sincere and very honest, because companies send me products all the time to test for them, and if I like them, they'll be on there. If I don't like them, they're not going to be on there. And it's no hurt feelings. I just am very, very selective with what I choose to represent. So my telephone number, if you guys had any questions and needed to text me, or you wanted to message me, my telephone number is 713-545-4514. Texting is the best way to get me. If you wanted to reach me via email, it's burnfatwithritz@gmail.com. So it's just BURNFAT, burnfat, WITHRITZ @gmail.com. So it's burnfatwithritz@gmail.com. And guys, I love you guys so much. I don't even know a lot of you I do, but I am so passionate about what I do and in changing the mindset of millions of people. That's what we want to do, is plant these little seeds of yes, you can. Yes, you can. Food, the drugs that you're taking, the statins to lower your cholesterol, the diabetes medications, etc. It doesn't have to be that way. Don't fall into the myth of genetics and all that craziness. It's not true. What you put in your mouth is going to dictate more of how your body's going to perform.
Oh, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. So guys, what I'm going to do, all the information that she said, how to get in touch with her after the show, I'm going to put in the comment section. because she is a wealth of knowledge and information. And this is about sisterhood, empowering one another. It's not me being envious of what you're doing or jealous of what you're doing. It's about working together to build you guys, to build the kingdom of God, first of all, because I say this mostly every show. You can't do what God called you to do if your body is not functioning the way he designed it for it to work. So all of this information is to better you so you can do what God has called you to do. Even if it's just to be the best mom, be the best dad you can be, especially if you're an entrepreneur. I mean, you have to be in good health to do what you do on a daily. Thank you so much for tuning in. Antonio. So thank you.
Yes.
Great.
Bye. Thank you. Bye, everyone. Love you guys. See you. Bye.